How many buildings do you see around St. Louis that look like the old car school? Abandoned, broken down, crumbling, rusted out. But what if someone got a hold of it and repurposed it before the place got to that point? Like what they did to this old firehouse on Washington Avenue. The firehouse is now a brew house. Or the old city hospital on Lafayette Avenue, it's now condos. Well, this morning, we reimagine St. Louis by taking you inside two unique renovations. If you're in an emergency, this firehouse on Enright is not the place to go.
People ring the doorbell asking for fire alarms. We've gotten that a couple times.
It's now a house with a fire pole in the dining room.
It hasn't been waxed in a few decades, so it's not the most fun ride down.
Ben and Caitlin and their son now call the place home.
We were looking at non-traditional housing.
They've done a few things to make it livable.
This is the original common area, so this is probably where the firefighters spent a lot of their time when they weren't out on calls. The original bathroom with all of the original fixtures still in it.
Across town in Clifton Heights, you get one of the best views around.
It's a beautiful view of the city up there.
Is what you see from the top of what used to be a church.
The church was built in 1892.
Lisa and her husband Dan made it into their home 15 years ago.
I think the jewel of the neighborhood.
It took some effort to renovate it.
We absolutely gutted everything down to the brick.
While there are some things that will remind you of what this used to be,
We actually signed a very interesting document stating that we would not take these stained glass windows down for 20 years. The light coming through those colors is it's just magical.
everything else speaks to what it is now.
Hey, come on in. This is the Hill bedroom.
The old church is not only Lisa's home, this is also a bed and breakfast.
This was actually the altar.
Turning a church into a place of lodging,
When we bought it, we really didn't have the idea of a B&B. We really thought we would just live in it.
and a firehouse into a home takes vision.
Since it's wide open, we can do pretty much anything we want.
The old buildings provide a canvas for what can be.
I think they turn into some pretty unique and interesting projects.
When you try to reimagine St. Louis and take the old and make it new again.
We're all about repurposing.
And there's been a lot of repurposing going on around St. Louis. There's several buildings in our area that have been transformed. You see the warehouses down here that are now lofts over by Busch Stadium. So there's a lot of imagination out there that is renewing our city.
And this shows you what it can become.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Get rid of
Great
those
story.
tore down buildings, I'll tell you that much.
Yes.